Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're out in the large greenhouse checking on everything. I just hilled up the potatoes. They are looking amazing inside there. Very cool. They're like the babies of the greenhouse this year. Got lots and lots of life coming up in the greenhouse. Lots of free food. We're coming out to check on our little space heater, our compost space heater. Pushing 81 degrees into the greenhouse. That is pretty darn cool, and that's pretty darn warm. Warm enough that it's opening both of our window actuators. So that little bit of extra sunlight is bumping it up enough that it's opening up our windows. That's pretty amazing that we're having window actuators open when we had below freezing temps overnight. So it's quite interesting that we're able to heat the greenhouse up enough that it's got to release some of that heat as soon as the sun starts hitting it. This is day one after the compost heater's running, and this is midday now. We filmed a video out here this morning setting up all of our water systems. We've got some junk in our John Payne water system here. We've got some bugs, or a spider built a nest inside our PEX tubing, so we've got to blow that out with some air. But other than that, everything is running perfectly. We're pulling hot water in here, we're pulling hot air in here. As you saw, we're physically pushing 81, 82 degrees inside this greenhouse. It's exactly what we wanted, but we're not done yet. I want to be able to add on and piece more to this and just run it kind of out of my way, out of my walkway, and either heat up a thermal storage. Like, we used it to heat up the side of this tank last winter, and it worked pretty well along with the stove and our John Payne heater. We had a huge thermal mass of 130 gallons that kept warming up, and that heat stored in water will definitely transfer throughout the night into your greenhouse, and you'll notice a huge difference in all of your plants still being alive the next day. So thermal mass storage is great, and that's what we're going to build upon with all of our systems this year. I really want to get this routed over to our tunnels or for some thermal mass storage. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do yet with our actual space heater here. So this is just a space heater. It is sucking the air in from right over here. You can see that little solar fan. It's going down into our compost, through it twice, and then back into the greenhouse. So we're not having any negative impacts from our compost or any of the gases that are created from compost or rodents or anything. Everything's outside. That's one main topic. We do not compost inside the greenhouse because you're going to draw rodents, and even hotbeds. I do not do that because you're going to draw rodents inside your greenhouse, and you're going to have pest problems, pest waste, urine, feces, and they will be eating your crops. And it's just not something you want to do. We've experimented for year after year with composting in the greenhouse, doing little piles and pulling heat off it just like these systems here, just in a very small, simple scale. And we found that the rodents are just absolutely drawn to that heat, and they're drawn to all of those resources. So if we can keep all of our heat out there with all of that bedding and resources for them, they might stay in the pile outside and not even venture in here, because we had some issues with rodents, and everybody has issues with rodents that lives in the country or has a greenhouse or anything like that. Dealing with rodents is just part of life. So keeping all of them at bay and planning accordingly to keep everything separated and the best you can is about all you can do. So we kept all the compost outside. We don't compost inside. It feels really, really good to sit in this sun. I was just outside working. I shed my coat. I shed my sweatshirt in here because it's literally 82 and the doors are opening. I've got this space heater blowing right on me. I'm starting to sweat. So this is just going to be a quick video. Wanted to come update that the systems are running. We've got our compost heater active, and the little space heater is doing its thing. We're going to add on to it and build upon the resources we have and all of that free heat that we're going to be able to crank in here all winter long. So while we're in here, and it's a short video, let's check out our geothermal. So our geothermal is getting fresh air from all the way outside down in and sucking it down through the ground and drying that air out because we had a lot of water in there, and we took a hose and sucked out what we could. You can hear a little bit of gurgle, but not nearly what it was. We've been using ropes and hoses and everything we possibly can to get the water out of this little geothermal tube, and it's been working. So we're almost completely dry. I'm gonna take a nice big piece of towel or something and just throw it down there because it acts like a siphon and it draws all that up there, just like the little experiments when you were kids mixing colors with a string. So we're gonna be able to use the natural draw of water through cotton or some type of material to draw that right out of there. You can see this Window is opening. It's warm in here. It's sitting right below 80 degrees as it's opening up. So we've got a lot of updates coming from this end also. Let's walk back a little bit and I'll show this end of the greenhouse. We've got our tank over here. We've got our potatoes. We've got solar panels. We've got electricity coming down here. A lot of solar heating. We're going to be heating this whole 110-gallon tank right here that has a experimental heater on it. We're going to be heating that up throughout the winter for heat to stay off the cold on this end of the greenhouse. So we've got a lot of heat coming from that end, a lot of free heat coming from this end, and a lot of updates coming for the winter. So everybody who has subscribed recently, welcome aboard, and I'd like to thank you guys for checking this channel out and checking out all the free things you can possibly do without having to spend a whole lot of money and just eat healthier. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching and checking this out, and until next time.